Team Flash isn't ready to let go of Barry quite yet. Ramsey's doing some weird, gooey Dracula thing. And what is Nash looking for? We'll be back in a flash.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz.
I hum this at random times during the day.
It's on my phone.
You know,
I bring it up whenever I feel down, and it's amazing.
you guys literally like breathe and live AfterBuzz.
Yeah, we're AfterBuzz through and through. What is up, guys? We're back for another episode of The Flash, Season 6, Episode 4. We've got a lot to get into tonight. Team Flash is really going through it. Once again, someone else has mommy issues because it wouldn't be The Flash unless we weren't addressing our childhood traumas. And we really got to figure out what Nash is up to because I do not trust him. Plus, we have meta tweets. We've been looking at your tweets. We've been enjoying them. And we're going to check some out later on in the show. And we've got some really fun news and gossip. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the very end. I'm your girl, Drew Jones. I like to think of myself as the DC princess, if you will, because I'm on lots of DC after shows, and I love DC more and more every day. But I cannot do this panel without my lovely team. So to my left, AfterBuzz is making me say something nice about him, so I'm going to. He does Titans. He throws subpar Halloween parties, and he has really great DC themed t-shirts. Plus, he's going to be in the live chat talking to you guys. It's Jeff Williams.
What up, what up? Speaking of the live chats, one of the people in the live chats, they love it how close we are together and just like how much affection we show. So I want to do that throughout the show for them.
Oh, wow.
Because we're just the bestest of friends, even though my party was better last week.
Never. Further down is, listen, the Bollywood isn't ready. Isn't ready, okay? She has her own really cool segment on AfterBuzz TV that you guys are going to have to check out if you love all things Bollywood. Plus, she's here to bring the flavor, the fan of Cisco's, president of Cisco's fan club, doing the thing. It's our girl, Shiksha. What's up?
What's up, guys? So happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you here, and I hear you have some really fun news and gossip later on in the episode.
Do. So you guys stay tuned.
Yes, and at the very end, we celebrated National Cat Day together.
Yes.
Because cats are great.
We're cat parents.
We are cat parents. An OG to the Flash panel. He's been here for a couple seasons. He's always breaking it down with the baddie breakdown. This season, he's doing meta tweets. He's in charge of our special segment. And he's in charge of our hearts. It's Zach Silverman.
What up, guys? Happy to be here.
Did you like that?
I did. Really brought it back in.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Yes, here we are. But you guys, a lot went down in this episode. It's a Halloween-themed episode. So what did you guys think of it?
Wasn't so Halloween themed. It was, but I didn't get the vibe of Halloween.
They mentioned
but
Halloween.
I didn't. I know, and they even kind of did like a cool like homage shot down the hospital corridor. Mm-hmm. But outside that, it wasn't. Did you feel Halloweeny?
No, it was it was not very Halloweeny. It was just kind of depressing and just it's all about death and tears and I don't know. We finally got to see Wells, but it was just a sad episode that
I gotta disagree.
What?
I really like this episode. You know why? Because it brought us back to what the Flash is all about. Family. And we see that so much through this episode, whether it's Barry with Iris, Barry with Joe, Barry with Cisco. We got to see a lot of family in this episode, and that's what I love about the Flash, and that's what this episode had for me. So that's why this episode was great.
Oh, interesting.
Let's break down. So we pick up this episode with Team Flash learning that Barry is gonna die, and we focus on a few people throughout this episode and how they're processing it, mainly Joe, Cisco, and Ralph. So let's touch on Ralph first. Iris is trying to lighten the mood and has a tidbit on this missing person, Sue, and Ralph is not super interested. So I really like this. I mean, I wasn't a super big fan of this episode, but I did like the Ralph story just because it gave us some Sue tidbits.
Finally, yeah.
But what did you guys think of Ralph, how he's handling it?
Hartley's been on here before, so he's close to my heart. I think he's like killing it in terms of an actor playing the role, being Ralph. His character, it still seems lost to me a little bit, but at the same time, like he as an actor knows how to reel things in. And he had not to jump forward too much, but had an amazing scene between Joe and himself that like was a little prequel to Barry and Joe. Did I like the interaction between Iris? Not really. It's kind of being a dick. Could have taken a little bit better, but I get where he's coming from.
But his whole arc as a whole, how did you feel about it from this whole episode? You can include the Joe combo if you want.
Oh, if we're including the Joe combo, I think it makes perfect sense. I mean, he's kind of going back to old Ralph that we were first introduced to when he had like the stomach and everything, drinking, eating, just not like slacking off a lot of that. And when people are sad, upset, depressed, they revert back to negative actions, and that's exactly what we saw this episode.
I feel like there's a lot of character development with Ralph, though, a little bit. Because I think in prior seasons, we've had to pry a lot more to find out what's wrong. And I don't think Joe had to...
Pry too much.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like an unspoken... well, at the same time, no. Because in this beginning of this episode, everyone was just told. And for some reason, they're all acting like he's already dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my note with this whole episode, it's not too off track. It feels like... Sometimes the episodes move really slow, and sometimes they move really fast. So where like other seasons, this would have taken longer in the episode to come out on a longer arch, but I feel like because there's so many characters, there's so many storylines, they kind of have to get to the point, and it's a little jarring sometimes.
I agree in that it's moving fast, and it felt like he was already dying. I mean... It felt like a goodbye episode almost, and how
that's where I was getting
right.
To.
Yeah, it was a goodbye episode, and it was Ralph just accepting and trying to move on and grieving Barry. And I'm like, he's not dead yet. We need to save the guy. What are y'all doing? And and I know we're gonna come to Cisco, but he was still fighting. Ralph's just kind of given up and accepted this as fact, and I don't love that. Because that's not what The Flash is all about. So when you said this episode was great because it was all about family and it takes us back to what Flash is all about, I disagree with that because I feel like Team Flash is all about fighting and getting to the other side of things, and that's not what this episode was.
But to pose the opposite question to that is every other season and every Flash family... Barry was always the one that was just like, no, we can't give up. He's the one always fighting. What do you do when your team leader is like, I don't know what to tell you anymore, guys.
Yeah, and that's where I'm getting stuck. Because it's like, okay, Barry's giving up, which he should not be giving up because he's never given up for anybody else. So for him to just kind of expect everybody to just take it, nah, man. Yeah. When everybody told him to give up on Iris, he never did. When everybody told him to give up on anybody, he never did. So,
yeah, I agree that like he should be in pain, but I just didn't like it for this episode. To be honest, when I saw him in pain at the beginning of the episode, I thought I was like, okay, cool, he's still dealing with his mom because this just happened.
That's what I got.
And I'm like, why are you not bringing up your mom that was in and out of jail or like there's like in the streets doing whatever, and then like he's like pouting over Barry. I get it, but for the storyline it just didn't make sense. I was like, did you just forget about your mom? Like he didn't even bring it up at all. But to not sidetrack too long, I need to shout out the people in the fans, the people out there, because they reminded us that we did not bring up that Ralph. He brought up Sue not only in this season at the beginning, but in last season as well. So he has brought up Sue multiple times. And for him to just drop everything because of this, I thought it was because of Barry. Or because of his mom. Not because of Barry.
But I feel like his like one of his closest friends dying kind of outweighs the fact that his mom lied.
Yeah, see, the whole thing is like last season with the Thinker, Barry was the only one that had like the notion and the drive to continue to move forward and know that he was still alive to save him. And so now Ralph can't repay that ever. Especially knowing, like, if it was someone else who was dying and Barry was going to be there, like, sure, like, I'm sure they would rally. Ralph is specifically upset because he knows if Barry's saying that this can't happen, then if this is going to happen, this is going to happen. So what is Ralph to do? That's why he's so upset. And it makes sense in my eyes.
I think Ralph should be doing what Cisco was doing, which is fighting and trying to find a way and not giving up. He just gave up. He was just grieving and accepting it. And it's like, dude, what are you doing?
But there's multiple stages of grieving, and he,
That's what we got tonight with everybody.
Yeah, it depends on where you're going to click into it. And for Ralph, I thought for Ralph to be vulnerable, that was a big development for him because he often is the one who just cracks jokes and kind of brushes it off.
No, Hartley's definitely had a nice overarching arc of a character to really explore a lot of things that some of the characters kind of just like get pigeonholed into where they're at and they're stuck there. And when people look at them, they're like, oh, you're doing something different? That doesn't work. Stick to what you know.
They're setting him up for his show. I'm telling you.
I was going to say, honestly, seeing him more serious makes me think like, okay, like, I could see a show now.
Oh my god, yay!
Because
last week I didn't believe that, but this episode,
I mean,
we'd
love to know what you guys think in the chat. So add us.
Yeah, let me know if I'm alone on this one because I'm just not here for it. I mean, I guess I can see what you guys are saying. Like they could set it up, but I don't want it. Like Ralph, I feel like Ralph is a great sidekick. Like his storyline is a great side storyline. I just don't see I just don't have the rooting interest for him to have a whole series, for him to be a leader of a team. I need to see more of that. And for him not to even be considered as the leader of Team Flash, how are you going to be leading your own team?
But I think about Barry in season 1 and how kind of goofy and like whatever he was. And he wasn't this serious, Barry that we have now. It was a lot more lighthearted and goofy and fun and I can run fast and Iris, and it's not like that anymore. But I think
Iris,
and I think we should give Ralph the same room to
grow. Yeah. I'm excited to hear you say that. Yay!
I'm growing as well, and I really liked that they kind of wrap up the story that he's going to go look for her, and he says it's just a missing persons case. It's not like I'm getting married.
Best line ever. That was
like,
awesome.
Au contraire, mon frere.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Someone else who's really having a hard time, who just tugged at my heartstrings, was Joe.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
I tell you, when I saw that scene between him, I wrote it down. I was like, whoa, I just got the chills. Like, that was some good acting.
The man can act.
And I'm like, I want more Barry. Like, why? Like, I was disappointed because there was the Barry scene briefly at the lab, and I was just like, oh, we're going to get like a Joe Barry scene. And it was just like really quick. That kind of, I get why they did that for the ending of the episode.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it. Like I said earlier, like, every interaction, we haven't had Joe for a while, so having him and Barry, even in like the shorter interaction, and then towards the end where we get like the full-on family interaction, and I just love seeing him, and I love bringing that Flash like family substance back into it.
And I'm glad they used Joe this episode because I've been a little stressed out that they were
Cecile.
But yeah,
I love Cecile. I think she's an important character, but I just was worried about them not making Joe an important character because that makes him easy to lose.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you see when they use one, they don't use the other. Like Cecile and Joe, they don't use them too often in the same time.
Well, the same with Iris. I mean, Iris barely had any screen time in this episode. There's a little backlash from Ralph, but besides that,
Allegra or
she wasn't even in it.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah. So that's what we're struggling with. There's so many new characters. There's so many people in the Flash family or Flash family adjacent.
Yeah, it's like who are we gonna get this?
Who do we care about at like to an extent? Because like how do I care about half of these people when I don't know what they're doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we always care about Iris, but that's just beside the point.
I care about the West family and the West family only.
Candace Patton, like
sometimes Barry, but mainly just Joe, Cecile, and Iris. It's not even because they're black.
Sometimes
it's just that
Barry's not included in that.
He can be a little bit of like a bleeding heart sometimes, and I'm like, okay.
Is it necessary?
Like, he's just so good sometimes that I'm like, he's like a human Labrador. And I'm just like,
he's the poster child.
He really is. Like,
Yeah.
always does the right thing. And
See, I don't want the poster child. I want to point to the poster child and explain why you should be like that. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that guy exactly.
he's almost too good. The fact that he's accepting his death for the greater good, and it's just no hesitation of, this is what I have to do. It's just...
Because he's been through so much already.
I know, but it's almost like...
You get to the point, like, you don't become, like one of the founding members of the Justice League without having that mentality. You know, there's levels of superheroism.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a word today, so it's fine.
Levels of superheroism that, like, there's a reason why Superman is who he is and, like, what he stands for. And Flash is within that realm. And, like, we get to see that growth. Like, just like you were saying, Barry in season 1, Goofy and whatnot, like, now look where he's at. Like, he's ascending to that. And let's face it, like, that's going to make the death so much better.
Yeah, but it's like, how pure-hearted can you get?
I don't know. What'd you think about how Joe's little diatribe about saying, you know, I'm a cop and after 30 years I get to go home to my wife and be safe. God willing, I'll get to watch my daughter grow. But, like, you saved the world and universes time and time again and you get to die. Like, that tugged at my heartstrings.
Yeah, it hurt. The whole... I don't know how to say this without, because this is the Flash, but Barry's death would not impact me as heavy. It impacts me more how it's impacting other people. Does that make sense?
No, say that one more time. Like, you don't really care.
Like, no. I care. I care that Barry Allen is dying. I care.
I'm clipping that specific part out. Like, look, she wants all the smoke.
I care. But what makes me care more, because it's like, that's sad and whatever, but what makes me care more is the Joes, the Ralphs, the Ciscos, the Irises, who are...
Part of his team.
Yeah, who are having a hard time with it. So...
Well, last episode we had Barry having a hard time, or was it 2 episodes ago? Whenever he got the notion of it, he was having a hard time with it, and now it's, you know, the rest of the team's time to kind of experience it, grieve, yeah.
Even Iris had kind of accepted it by this point, right? Because she was trying to help Ralph.
Yeah. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think she's kind of using it more as a distraction.
Totally.
Well, a helpful distraction, because she wants to be helpful, but she also wants to distract herself from what she knows is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I don't really believe that she's just sitting on the sidelines. I think there's some other stuff going on behind the scenes, but that's for predictions and that's for later. So.
Logan Knight in the chat says Barry is acting like Oliver Queen since Ollie is accepting the fact he has to die, but doesn't like the fact that Barry's making assumptions about him dying in Crisis when he's not. I mean, Barry's always looked up to Oliver as well, so it's just this circle of emulation of rising to be that hero that everyone looks to be up to them.
Yeah, not to sidetrack too far, but when we're talking about Barry and the Flash, they're both dying supposedly. One thing that the people say in the comments and that we haven't really talked about is, in Arrow, they killed off Earth 2 as a whole. Yeah. And on The Flash, they haven't even talked about it with Jesse Quick, with Wells from Earth 2, and everybody else that we've seen from Earth 2. That's
they didn't mention it at all.
It's kind of surprising. So, like, I wonder where in the timeline is everybody doing these things at, because they should know that Earth 2 is gone.
Yeah, there's a whole Earth that's gone. How do they not know? Yeah.
I was going to say, because I feel like they're pretty busy, so...
Yeah, I don't think that would be on the...
even a mention.
No, but, like, if you know Crisis is coming, you know that all the Earths are going to be destroyed. That means you're paying attention to what is going on all the Earths. That you should be, at least. If the other Earths knew, remember... Well, in Arrow, not to go too far off, they were able to look at which Earths are not there, and they physically saw Earth 2 not being there. So I feel like Cisco could do the same.
I think he could, yeah, but you also have to look to see where the episode was, and Barry's main if Barry's main focus was to let's save one life. I mean, like, how could his mind even wrap around? Like, let me also remember that there's all these multitude of universes that I could potentially be popping away and just disappearing. You know, like, I think his mind was very much.
Yeah, and I disagreed with what Barry was saying too, because I just think that him trying to save Ramsey was kind of like a coping mechanism for him, because he doesn't know how to save himself. He doesn't want to give people false hope, versus he should be focusing on how to save himself and all the Earths and all that, but instead he's focusing on just one life, and I think he's just coping.
Well, let's talk about Nash, because he was in this episode.
Yes.
And
Finally.
Was he now?
He's out here. I'm still not 100% sold on this version of Wells.
He's not sensual.
Yeah,
I was
told he was going to be sensual. There's not. I'm not feeling it yet.
He's more suave than sensual.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I think where they're coming from is in the previous seasons, he's always had this bite to him, which I have yet to see.
What do you mean by bite?
A bite, like this, like you're inferior to me, like like an ego-driven kind of thing, where it's just kind of seems authentic, like what he's talking about, what he's doing. I don't have the feeling of I'm better than you. Yeah,
I don't see that, and I don't have an interest in them yet. Like they're like. It's almost like they're kind of not forcing us, but like they're trying to shove like an interest in our face with like all these almost post-credit scene type deals at the end of each episode. But like we don't really know what he's really doing. We know like somewhat. We don't know like why. Like there's so much we don't know about him, and that we're not really seeing on screen. So it's just like he's doing something. Either the monitor or anti-monitor, somebody's gonna be there because it looked like him. You know what I'm saying? Like we see a little bit, but like I'm just not interested yet.
Yeah, he feels like a CW Seed show. Or like they have a show with Cisco that's like online that it's, behind the scenes. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like it's actually in the plot line. It just feels like he's kind of there.
Okay.
It could just be them building it up. I mean, they are building it up to something.
Definitely, but like right now they're doing a whole lot, especially bringing the monitor into his storyline.
Yeah.
We don't even care yet. Like, you know,
bringing in magic too now. It seems like that's a lot.
Yeah,
I mean that's part of the DC universe, but that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, magic has never done well for any of the shows, but that's just my point of view.
I got my predictions about who Nash is. I'll talk about at the end.
We sure will. We want to know your all's opinions as well about, do you guys like Nash? How are you feeling about Barry? Would you watch a Elongated Man TV show? Let us know. We also do a lot of other things here besides talk about superheroes, people. We have lots of channels. We do drama, reality TV. We're even on red carpet sometimes talking to some of your favorite celebrities. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to us on YouTube. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So check us out. Give us 5 stars. Let us know what you think. And thank you guys so much for making us the ESPN of TV talk. Cisco. My sweet Cisco is
Cisco.
Really going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Exactly. I'm Team Cisco
for him.
all day, twice on Tuesdays. You know, we're out here.
Me too,
Twice
obviously.
on Tuesdays.
Yes, twice on Tuesdays. I'm 100%
Lord of Taco Tuesdays.
Him, Brown, me. We're all eating tacos on Tuesday, watching The Flash. But no, I'm a huge fan of Cisco. He's dealing with his best friend dying, and not only dying, his best friend giving up. He's always been Cisco's rock. Like every time Cisco's dealing with stuff or like whether it's his girl, whether it's his powers, whether it's anything else, Barry's always been his rock, always been his best friend. So dealing with that and seeing the person that his rock is being crumbled in a sense, like giving up, it's hard for him. So everything that he did was believable. Him lying to his best friend to save his best friend is a believable thing.
Yeah, he's the only one on Team Flash who's holding on to the values of Team Flash by continuing to fight and looking for a way and just not taking no.
That we know of right now.
Exactly.
Listen.
That we've seen on screen. I feel you.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I do think that Cisco is going to continue to work on fixing the situation. But go Cisco for fighting for Barry and not agreeing with Barry. And I just hope that he convinces everybody else to figure this out,
Yeah, I'm not. I was gonna say we all in agreement because we ain't giving up on Barry. Barry's the only one that's giving up on him right now.
It's so frustrating.
Wait, are you giving up on Barry?
Oh no! Really?
The chat's gonna hate me for this.
Here we go.
But the way that they're framing this season so far, it's a perfect exit
For Cisco?
No, for the Flash.
For the wait.
What?
Oh,
I'd be happy with like I would hate it, but at the same time, like if this show ended, I'd say like that was a great way of going out.
and they didn't even tell anybody.
Don't like I don't like.
No.
It could be like I mean,
That would be
it
wild.
would maybe be the TV version of Logan, and like I don't need to see Hugh Jackman come back as Wolverine ever. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what universe.
It would be a really like high note to go out on.
And I think that might be something that CW and DC might want to consider. I would hate to see us go and the show go, but let's just face it, like this acting tonight was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The storyline was great, and like the anticipation of what they're leading up to. If they pull the carpet out from underneath us and say, "Hey, he's still alive. Don't worry, we got another like 5 more seasons coming at you."
Then it's like, where do the stakes go from here?
Seriously, like, yeah, they're in the comic books, the Monitor and Anti-Monitor, I mean, that was like 20 years worth of the Golden, Silver, Bronze ages, and then there was this like weird time of just like, what do we do with the comics? And then we're gonna get all that for TV now. Like, I don't know if I can handle that.
But no, you can go.
Well, it's interesting because the reason I'm so upset, I was upset with this episode because of how depressing it was. I wouldn't have been that upset about it if this was the goodbye season. I would have looked at it differently. But thinking it's coming back, it's like, I don't like this, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great send off episode. That's what it felt like and everything. And I can also see how
Up to a send off.
No, I'm saying that's how it felt like it though.
Yeah.
But with this, if it was the last season, it would go off on a great note. But I think they're kind of like telling us what's gonna happen with Oliver doing his send off, with this actually being his last season, and him telling everybody, "I'm dying to save everybody." I feel like that's just foreshadowing the show. Barry's gonna die, and then he's gonna come back. And that's happened in the past of him going into the Speed Force and everybody thinking he's dead. So, like, it wouldn't really be no more stakes because he's kind of gone away, come back in the past, doing it again. It wouldn't really change much.
Yeah, and when the show actually finally ends, if this is not the last season, how are they going to do it unless they're all happily ever after, right?
I honestly think, well, one, it would be interesting to see Ollie and Barry kind of go off in a Thelma Louise style.
Here's the thing.
Like, we're both dying.
2 people died in the comics. So, like, it's more than just one person who has to die.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to follow it completely.
I
but
personally think I think they're setting it up for Cisco to peace out.
No.
Because, I mean, there's been talks for a while that
he even said he kind of...
that he's kind of done, and the way that Cisco's reacting would make me think that there's a possibility that another option of the world being saved is Cisco going, but Barry's obviously never going to say that. So in Barry's mind, the only thing he's going to say is, I have to die, but in reality, there's a good chance that Cisco could die.
No.
And we do have a dude on ice to take up the Cisco mantle. Like, literally, he's like being helped or being saved right now,
Chester.
Chester.
Yeah.
Like right when we saw him, he was the nerdy like tech guy. Like, he is Cisco 2.0, and that could be a way for Cisco to peace out and for him to step in. I wouldn't like it. I'm Team Cisco all day, but that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, no,
so.
I love him, but this rumor's been going on for like 2 seasons
it's
that
been a while.
Carlos is kind of ready to experience other
He
projects.
just says he wants to go back to Broadway.
Yeah, because he's really into music and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I kind of thought this was his last season. If I was surprised to see him on the season because
too.
I'd heard so many rumors. I kind of thought it was
I thought
fact.
he was done.
Yeah.
Me too.
So
Everything
Jazzy
you
Jones
guys are
doesn't
saying.
want Cisco to go.
I'm
Don't
sorry.
say that true.
we don't want it either.
I don't want him to go either. I love Cisco.
But the chat is pretty excited because next episode is going to be a Cisco-driven episode. And
Yes.
apparently black and white. I'm not sure if it was completely black and white, but...
I think that might be just during like the
I think that was
flashbacks
just
or
the-
dreams or
yeah,
whatever he was
yeah.
having. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well-
gonna be a cool episode.
Let's talk about Ramsey really quick before we hop into our special segment in news and gossip. I am kind of over this Ramsey thing, but it was very Michael Jackson Thriller in the hospital because Ramsey finds out that the serum does not work on him. It's too late, but feeding on fear and blood is
It's stupid.
the key.
Epinephrine, right? Is that the drug that gets
Yes, I
released?
Think so,
Okay,
yeah.
so why can't you just whip up a dose of that and inject it?
And like, yeah.
But
I have to scare people and then kill them.
Did you feel like it was a big jump from him saying, I can save everybody with HLH
huge jump.
to, no, I'm going to just save myself and kill other people? I was like, where did that come from? Because like he was evil, but like he was saying it was to save everybody. Yeah. Now he's like, I'm just going to save myself.
The window.
That's it.
It was the multiple testing on himself. It like probably deteriorated his brain so fast.
Go ahead.
No, I was just like, I agree with that. I mean, that makes sense, but like for a story aspect, for a television show, I feel like you need to say something or do like some kind of transition because it just seemed like too big of a jump.
Again, there's just like not enough time in the episode also.
And I think the flashbacks of his mom and seeing how selfless his mom is, I think is supposed to make you feel like he's realizing that that was his mom's issue, was that she was too selfless and trying to take care of other people instead of prioritizing herself. So he was like, bump that, I'm going to prioritize myself.
Him saying that he's afraid of death just kind of brought it home for me because it's him who's afraid of dying. Frost is afraid of dying. You have Barry who's accepting dying. You have Cisco who won't accept him dying. So it's just like death this whole season, especially this episode.
Logan Knight was saying that they're very excited and love the fact that Ramsey is acting like this finally, because I haven't read these comics, but he's apparently acting just like Bloodwork in the comics. So, you know, Flash is good for staying true to a lot of things, and he has to go that way sooner or later.
But
right?
it just happened so fast.
Yeah. And then he suddenly is like in control of his powers and can like do that creepy thing up the wall.
Yeah, that little Spider-Man.
That was wild. He looked like an elongated man in that scene. Like he just like pulling his arm going that way. I'm like, wait, did he like switch powers or something? But no, it was weird to see, but I don't know how he controlled it that quick.
Real quick, what did you think about, like, I knew the cure was going to work, but like thoughts on Cisco stealing the cure thing and thinking it'll stop antimatter?
Well, he asked Wells that, and he said yeah. I mean, to an extent, he said yeah, but like I was about it. You're fighting to save your best friend, and your best friend's like, no, let's go save this one random dude who Caitlin says is not a good guy. Like Drew says, bump that. We gonna save my best friend. So I'm Team Cisco on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I do like that it shows that Cisco has a very, by all means necessary type attitude, because I think that's playing up to what I feel like is going to happen later on. But let's hop into our special segment, Meta Tweets. Zach, take it away.
Yeah, guys, we love watching what you have to say during this episode, and we got quite a few for you tonight. We have Vlada Gelman, at Vlada Gelman, the Joe/Barry scene on tonight's hashtag the Flash just about destroyed me. I think all of us can agree time and time again. We love seeing Joe and Barry, especially when we have these epic emotional. She goes on to say Barry's emotional maturity this season has been really lovely, and Grant Gustin has been even more impressive than usual. Also, really hope there are scenes with Barry and Oliver just having a good cry together about their doomed fates. So that would be an interesting thing to
bros
see.
being bros.
Bros being bros. Right?
One at the bar again, like just like a nod to their first like crossover at the end of it where they were drinking at the bar. I think that'd be cool.
And they kind of do that every season. But, next one we have at Iris CKP. I'm a puddle. ... Hashtag the Flash.
Facts.
Man, again, Joe and the Flash. Some amazing acting, both through and through. You know, Jesse.
That's true, yeah.
What's that?
I said Jesse is king.
He is. He's amazing. People felt it to the bones. I felt it to the bones. I was just got me good. And then we got another one from Iris CPK. My boy's fighting. I'm gonna cry. Nope. The hashtag the Flash. I mean, this was an intense scene, but it was a little bit of. It was weird to see them like this. I didn't like it, but at the same time, I was like looking at Cisco and like, it's funny watching people fight sometimes. Just their facial expressions are a little weird, and we got some captured weird facial expressions, you know. But hey, the sentiments were there, so I get it. It's cool. And then we have one last one, Suffering Sappho at the My Skira Bound. It's a behind the scenes a little bit, I think, of one of the crossovers that we are going to be looking at shortly. Children with a laughy face, more goofiness between Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist. And it looks like they're speed walking.
Wait,
trying to win, see who's going to win, and of course, the
Barry
Flash does.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did Barry win? Ooh.
I think Barry won. And guys, that's our meta tweets. We love watching what you have to say while we are watching live. So please at us, tweet us, do all that good stuff on the social media, and maybe you'll get a shout out.
Thank you for that, Zach.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get into some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Take it away.
All right, guys. So the actor who plays Ramsey Russo is Ascendal Ramamurthy. He's in the new Mindy Kaling Netflix show called Never Have I Ever that will be airing next year. Also, we had 4 new shows get announced. We have Superman and Lois coming out in the Arrowverse. We have Greg Berlanti producing Green Lantern and Strange Adventures, which will both be out on HBO Max next year. And we have DC Superhero High. It's really exciting to hear about these new shows. Let us know in the comments which one you're most excited to watch. What do you guys think?
I'm super pumped about this. I tweeted about it, but with the news about Green Lantern, we've been always hoping to see a version of Green Lantern. Specifically, I'm gonna just speak for myself, Jon Stewart version of Green Lantern. That's what we've been waiting to see. We haven't. I mean, they teased it with John Diggle. They've been talking about making a Green Lantern movie. I want to see it. I want to see Jon Stewart make it happen.
Because we don't count the one with Ryan Reynolds.
Facts.
Hey, I enjoyed some.
He doesn't even count it.
Okay, I know.
So,
I know.
But no, I'm super pumped for all of them. I'm iffy about Superman's TV show. It's kind of on the Ralph side of it. I really don't know how. I really don't know how are we gonna build his team. Who's on his team? Because every superhero that would be on his team is already established in their own shows.
That's
if you think
so
about it,
true.
when they did Smallville, they brought on the Flash. Flash has his own show. They brought on a version of Green Arrow, has his own show. Everybody they brought on is already established in the Arrowverse now. So it'd be interesting to see how they interact.
Yeah, what they do for that. Well, let us know in the comments, you guys. We're excited to see what you think.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Before we get out of here, let's get into some predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, Zach.
Cool. Awesome. So, Nash, we are a little confused with what he's doing, but because of some of the news and gossip that we got from you a week or two ago, mentioning how Tom Cavanaugh will be playing Pariah as well, little nice facts that people might not know. In the comic books, Pariah is actually a multi-universe, like similar to what Nash is, going through the universes, exploring. He essentially is trying to go so far back in time to watch the start of the universe. In doing so, he actually crosses over into the anti-universe, and the anti-monitor gets word of this other universe. So he essentially is the catalyst to why the anti-monitor is doing what he's doing. I think that's what we're going to be getting out of Nash, and that's why he's kind of running around chasing Monitor, possibly anti-monitor, to kind of correct his mistake that he made. So we'll get to see how he transitions from Nash Wells to Pariah, or if there's going to be two of the same characters, but I think they're one and the same.
That's what's up.
Okay, so I think that Cisco and Iris are going to team up, and it may be behind Barry's back, but they're going to start researching and trying to figure something out to save Barry. I don't think they're going to give up that easily. So I'm excited to see if they do that, which I hope that they do. I also think that Vibe is coming back, is making a comeback. I don't think Vibe is fully 100% gone. So we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I gotta say,
agree, yeah, seriously.
Well, about the Vibe, I'm not sure because we'll see. I thought he took the cure, so I thought it was gone for good. But we'll see because of like they
Hasn't been
teased
tested.
exactly.
Though. We never know.
And they also teased it when it's out of your system, or they didn't say when it's out of your system, but they teased it for next episode that he might still have his powers.
They said it might be
suppressed.
Suppressed.
So,
which I'm hoping is true.
So we'll see. That's not my prediction. My prediction kind of goes along with your first one. I think there is a Team Flash like adjacent or maybe underneath that is taking or that's trying to save Barry at the end of the day. I think it's the whole group beside Barry.
Yeah.
They're just not telling them.
Cool.
I agree, yeah.
I still think Cisco's dying this season.
No.
I do. I do. But I do think Vibe is making a comeback, playing into more why I think Cisco is dying.
No.
And I feel like we have to have some sort of Iris breakdown or freak out or something. I mean,
She's holding us together too well.
Too well, and we literally just had her freak out about losing her daughter's jacket like 2 episodes ago, and now her man's dying, and she's keeping it a little too cool for comfort. So I think we're gonna have a blow up soon, which will maybe be why Wally West comes around to take care of his sister.
Oh.
And die for Barry.
Yeah.
No.
I agree.
R.I.P.
It's gonna be him and not Cisco.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Both of them could be a possible. Well, you said 2 people died. So
Supergirl and the Flash.
Okay, well,
Dang, Supergirl?
In the comics, yeah.
in the comics.
I thought you meant now. I was supposed to say, what about
Vibe
Oliver?
and Kid Flash. That's my prediction. But until next time, guys, where can they find you all?
I already said peace. They ain't following me nowhere. No, I'm just saying. You guys can follow me on all your social media platforms at JeffWill_Jr.
You can find me on all social media at I am Bollygirl. That's IamBollygirl. I'm also on 5 after shows. I'm on this one, obviously. The Voice, Orphan Black: The Next Chapter, Good Place, Legacies, and we just started the Bollywood Beat. So if you're interested in Bollywood.
Stay working.
Awesome. Guys, my name is Zach Silverman. You can find me all across social media at Zach with the CH Silverman 2.
And I'm your girl, Drew Jones. I will be on the Black Lightning set next week, getting all the scoop on the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So you guys can follow me on all the things at OK Drew J to get a behind-the-scenes look. And make sure to follow AfterBuzz on all the things at AfterBuzz TV. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, thank you.
Peace.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.